Okay, it was probably a good year ago, I imagine. I decided I was going to build a table that would kind of fit my needs. Well, I've been working on it on and off, whenever I'm in the mood to do it. And I finally got her done now. Good solid oak that will suit me very well for many years. But I'm not fond of doing the multi-part things, and I'm not, really, I'm not gonna quick do it in one shot, do a quick thing like that. I don't rush stuff. Like I say, it's been a year, but I was in no hurry. I just wanted eventually to have a table, and now I've got one. But as I was working on this, it turned up in many videos that I had done. Just a little snippet of working on the table here and there. And I went and I set those aside, little clips, and kind of ordered them up, thinking eventually when I get it done, maybe I'll string them all together. So that's what I'm going to do here. It'll be clips from, like I say, over a year, and a lot of them have been shown before. They came up in videos that I did another day, But I'm going to edit them down so you can kind of see, from when I was cutting the lumber from the tree right to when I finished putting the pine tar on. Like I say, I don't rush through projects like this. I do them in my own time. I'm happier with them that way. But I know people have uh, short attention spans and they want instant gratification. So, like I say, I've decided, okay, I'll edit those clips together and try to make it into a consistent, something that you can watch and kind of get an idea of how it's put together. But this is, the other day I put up a video making the ironwood pegs, and that's what the ironwood pegs were for, was to hold this table together, because it's, the top of 3 panels all pegged together with ironwood. Same with the legs and the rails and everything is ironwood. The pegs holding it together. But the table itself is made out of oak. But I hope that maybe you'll learn, or you can always go back and look in the videos. But like I say, they're random here and there. I'd be working on something else, and then I do a little bit of the table, and so I can't expect you to understand how it. But that's how things, for me at least, how things get built. I do them over time. I'm not in a hurry. I want to do it when I feel like doing it. So, the following will be a pile of clips. But I do have a table. I'd like to make like a little desk or something, or a table kind of out of oak. I don't normally work, oak is not the friendliest wood to work with. I prefer to work with ash, but if you get a good piece, like the butt end of this log, like I say, was clear with not knots or anything in it, just a real good straight piece of wood. So I figure that's worth saving. The reason it kind of looks brown, the outside, after I cut that end off, I put pine tar on it just to preserve it, because it was raining. And I'll do the same now, but these I actually cut 1.25 inches, and I will cut them to 1 foot wide, and then I'll plane them down to 1 inch. But I'll leave them set for a while. Because oak is a warping, cracking wood, but I'll have to coat the ends. Well, I still coated because I did coat the ends before, but I'll go and cut that one now and get a couple good boards out of that and still have a big enough part I can do some work with the legs and the side rails and stuff. When I was cutting those oak boards for the root cellar, that will line the walls, I kept setting aside the best of them. Thinking, it's a waste to put them in the ground, save them. So I've got a pile of these that I've been planing today. What I wanted to do was make a table. And kind of a multi-purpose thing, though it's going to be, heavy because oak is heavy. Now, like I say, this is kind of a multi-use thing, so I'm making it fairly much a normal height. Normally I tend to make things a little higher. It'll be a little taller than your average table, but that's more comfortable for me, but still usable. In fact, it might be, it'll be a little shorter than what this, I've got sawhorses here, that these boards, which will be the top of the table. And they aren't flawless. There are a few knots in them, small knots, and I can live with those. And when I'm done with it, I will be pine tarring it, and this I put a little pine tar on here. Now it will darken up when I put heat to it, but you can see how that really pops that grain, and it'll get, like the lighter color will get a gold color, and this will get a dark brown. You can get some nice looking grain out of that. But look, these will be okay. These are the side rails and the front. They'll be mortised in. And what I did to do these, I've got a mortising bit on my Delta saw. I got a whole set of there's an adapter that what it ends up being, it's a square bit with a round bit inside. Well, that works great. Biggest size is a 1/2 inch. So I've got these all cut down. If you need to go wider than 1/2 inch, it's not a big deal. You just go over and go down. But it leaves a kind of a rough bottom. So now I'm taking this corner chisel and kind of squaring them out, because I want this to be a pretty tight fit, because these, I will make a tenon on these on the ends of the rails, and they'll go in a little over 1 inch. Then they'll be pinned with ironwood here. The reason I didn't go all the way to the top is because that would weaken it. This way I keep that strength from the top. And the reason I didn't go further in, I didn't want to weaken it. It's a juggling act depending on what you're going to do with it. But those mortising bits do work very well. They'll cut a nice square hole. I think I did a video called Drilling Square Holes showing that mortiser. But they're nice for this kind of thing. But you're limited to how big you can go. I think 1/2 inch is the biggest. It might make a 3/4. Possibly even make bigger ones, but it takes a lot of power to run them. But like I said, they do leave not a perfect bottom, so I'm going to go in there now and clean them up. Now, like I say, these legs, I cut them out of, this is 3x3 oak. If you remember, I was cutting a 3 inch by 12 inch piece of oak the one day, and that was for these legs, because then I recut it down to 3x3. And I cut the dados, or the mortises in there using my, I keep mixing these up, but it's a Delta, a rather large drill press that I have the mortising bits for. So I mortise these out, and now these are the stringers that will run on the sides of the table. I cut these on my table saw with that dado blade, that stackable dado blade. I just set the fence at 1 inch. Cut these. Now I have to go back and fit each one, because like here, this shoulder goes above. That's why I purposely put this mortise down below so that I wouldn't be up and weak in the thing. This way I've got a good solid piece here, and the depth is an inch, so it doesn't go all the way through. And then this ends up being flush with the top. Now when this goes in, then this will be pinned. Each one of these now I have to fit by hand, and that's what I'm doing now. Because though they are made on that machine, you know, each one is kind of individual. And when you cut with that dado blade, when I cut these tenons, the main thing when you start doing something like that is to make sure all of your boards are exactly the same thickness, because that's going to screw up the width of your tenon if you have a variation in those. So these I ran all through the planer, you know, to get them perfect. I have to go back and smooth them, you know, to bring out any irregularities. Not a big deal, but that's where, like I say, each one has to be fit perfectly, and that's what I'm doing now. But when you do something like that, the thing is, label them, you know, because each corner is its own individual fit, and there's no way you can swap them around. And the wood has got to be dry, well-seasoned oak, which is what this is. Corner pieces are mortised in and then pinned with the ironwood. And there are two cross pieces that go under here, and they are pinned. You know, there's countless ironwood pins in this. There's got to be around 50 of them anyway. But not a nail or an iron fastener in it. It is all just pinned. But I like doing things that way. You know, like on this side here, it's just slightly over flush with the legs, but then because the rail is narrower, there's an inset there. But then on the ends, I left a little deeper because there are times you want to be able to put, like I've got a grain mill that clamps on a table, and meat grinder, that sort of thing. There are times where you want to be able to clamp something on the table, so I've done that. Left the overhang on them, but solid, really, really strong. Now I put a thin coat, you know, or a thinned out coat of pine tar and turpentine, heavy on the turpentine, to get that penetration. And I'm going to leave that sit on there today, and tomorrow then I'm going to flip it over, and I've got to do a little bit of sanding, not much, but just to clean the wood up, and then I'll pine tar the bottom and let that sit, and then the next day I'll flip it back over and I can put a heavy coat on the top and burn it in, because the top really is what you got to watch, the top and the very bottom of the legs. Well, and that's a wrap. Very pleased, very satisfied with it. It should serve faithfully for many years.